All right, welcome back. This is Pear, and this video will be going over order blocks. And at the end, I'll be talking about fractality of order blocks, which is something I believe is not mentioned anywhere else. So let's first get started with a few pictures. All right, we're in the order block PDF now, and a very simple explanation on what an order block is. Order blocks are the last piece of opposing movement before a price reversal. Take a bullish move, for example. Before that bullish move happens, assume that we're in a downtrend, okay? The last piece of that bearish move is called an order block. You look at this image here, not sure if my mouse is showing or not, but you can see a box that I've marked on the bottom part. We have a low and then a high and then the lowest low and then we make a higher high. Look at the line I drew and the box. That is the last down move before a displacement and then the up move. This level is where this is what ICT himself said. This opposing movement, this last movement is where market makers start placing their buy orders, and then price gets a retracement to get even more orders in, and then move higher. Now let's show an example of this in the charts. Now this is only a two-page PDF because I do most of my teaching on the charts. So after we understand what an order block looks like, we'll go on charts. Now, do you see this up move? Look before it, the last down candle. Now, one thing for order blocks is that they need to be formed after we tap an important level. In this case, I've marked an important level. Obviously, you can't see the entire chart, but just assume that there's an important level there. Maybe it's the previous daily low or any other low that is important, any other level. This last down movement that taps into the important level is called an order block. Now, when does it become a valid order block that we call an order block? After we move down into an important level and then we get opposing bullish movement, in this case, bullish movement, and displace and close above the last down move. The body of the down candle that tapped into the important level becomes an order block. This level must hold if price wants to continue bullish. Let's go on charts and look at a few examples. All right, we are on charts now. Pay attention to this level. This is the order block I did make an image of, and as you can see, we'll come back into it multiple times and then go up. Got this order block here. Can you spot the order block? Now, as I said, the last bit of opposing movement before a price reversal. That will make the order block right here. Now, a lot of ICT traders may see this and be like, well, isn't that a breaker block? And you are not wrong. Here's the thing about order blocks. This entire move here is an order block. It's the last down move before an up move. Now, where is the breaker block? This level here is the breaker block. Low, high, lower low, higher high. These two levels become the breaker block. But the entire down move, can my mouse work? The entire down move is the order block. One rule for order blocks, or two rules, that make an order block valid is that one, an order block must tap into an important level. Two, price must, can I type, must displace. When it tapped into the previous daily low, which is an important level, you understand time-based liquidity. Water break, sorry. And then price must displace. This down movement we later on displace. We displace and go above. We close above it. That makes it a valid order block. And then we can see with this candle, This wick here traded all the way down here, but closed above, and then later on, found support and continued higher. That is one valid example of an order block. Let's see a few more examples. Now you may be asking, why aren't order blocks clean? Like, if you look at your charts and try to find order blocks, why do they sometimes not look clean, even though they follow the rules that I just talked about? That's because the market is not perfect, and the price action you get is not always perfect. I'm trying to find the easiest to understand examples for you so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. This low here was made on Tuesday. Price expanded higher, did whatever on Wednesday. And on Thursday, we go below this level. Look at this last bit of down movement. Starting here. You have two up close candles here and then here. With a slice above it, trade back into it. You see how the wicks respect it and the bodies try to close above it. We use this as support and go up. So, importance level swept. Displacement met. High, low, higher, high. Retrace into it, take it higher. That is this easy. Now let's go back and see if we can find more examples. Now, if you look on your charts like this, it is not always the cleanest, but you can find examples that are clean. For example, here you don't see much, okay, but that's fine. I'm trying to find the cleanest examples to show you guys, right? One of my favorite trading days in the past few months was Thursday, 3rd of April. Extremely clean price action. Look at this up. Look at this up move here. Why is this important? Because accumulation, manipulation, distribution. This up move here swept this high, offered premium levels, manipulation done, and then displaced lower below this low. This level becomes the order block. You can also call it this level, but this is cleaner. Later on, we tap into this level. This whole level here is the order block. Now this candle could be the breaker block, or this, but this is the order block. Now look at how price respects this level. After tapping it multiple times, we tapped it here, we tapped it here, we tapped it here, and then continues lower. Now let's understand fractal order blocks. What does that mean? Let me get my drawing out because this is hard to explain. Let's say you have a price movement, a chart. This level here is your order block. The last down movement before the up move that gets displaced. Inside this level, I'm going to draw this level again. Inside this level, you could see tinier order blocks. And then this entire movement on a lower time frame looks something like this. This entire down move could look something like this, and then the up move. But on a higher time frame chart, you see this. That is the very idea of PD array fractality or order block fractality. It's that every time frame has its own sequences of PD arrays, and a 5-minute order block could be a 50-minute this or that. Now I'm not going to go in very depth because this is one of my premium teachings that I teach privately. The understanding is kind of difficult, but I'm just going to say this, for example, this low here, that became an order block. On a lower time frame, this could be a breaker block. On a lower time frame, this could be this or that. But let's simplify it. We can see on this price action here, on the 15-minute time frame, that this right here is the order block, the last piece of down move. On a higher time frame, this could be the order block. On a higher time frame, maybe even this could be the order block, or this could be the order block. So choosing an order block depends on the time frame you trade. If I'm on the 1 minute, I'm looking for 1 minute order blocks. It's going to be 1 minute, and I'll show you what I mean. On a 1 minute time frame, now a lot of people who may be experienced traders could look at me and be like, but you are wrong, and this is not what order blocks are. This is how I view order blocks, and this is how I use them to read price action. We all view the charts differently. But this, in my opinion, is what an order block is. Down move, takes a low, displaces, gets displaced. This is a 1 minute order block. Now let's go into 5 minutes and look at the same piece of price action. Now, when we are under 5 minutes, look at where my line is. At 5 minutes, my order block could be here. Or some people like to use here. Let's go to 15 minutes. On the 15 minutes, it could be here. So it all depends on the time frame you trade. Or hell, some people say, but this could also, no. It all depends on the time frame that you trade. Because on every time frame is different. If you're a 1 minute scalper or a 5 minutes trader, it's different for you. Now there are PD arrays that form higher time frame PD arrays, but that is an advanced teaching of mine. And this is good enough for this video. Alright, sorry for the pause. But as I was saying, that is a more advanced teaching of mine. Until now, this is enough for this video. You have an understanding of order blocks, backtest, and study. I hope this helped. Check out my Discord channel in my bio, and yeah, see ya.